Hi students, in this video 3 naming of compounds, today we are going to see the ionic compounds with polyatomic ions. So what is the meaning of polyatomic? Poly means what? Poly means many. Have you heard about the polymer? So poly means many, two or more. So polyatomic ions means they are the molecules made up of two or more atoms that are considered as the ionic group. So ionic group which has two or more atoms. Okay, so for example, uh, hydroxide ion. See, this is called hydroxide ion with charge 1 minus. See, why do you call this as polyatomic? Because this has two atoms. It has two atoms and it carries a charge. So this is called the polyatomic. In some polyatomic ions, you see more than two atoms, and we will see the examples in the later on slides. And these polyatomic compounds, they will have both ionic and covalent bonds. So I want to remind you the examples what we saw in the previous videos in the class. See, when we were practicing, I gave you this compound like LiOH, lithium hydroxide. Then I asked you to find out, do they have ionic compound or covalent compound or both? You answered both. So you answered both. And during our practice, I gave one more example. I hope you remember that NaOH. And you answered that they have both ionic and covalent bonds. So the polyatomic compounds will contain both ionic and covalent bonds. Okay, so the list of polyatomic ions with charges are given in the next page. And I made a copy of this polyatomic ions list. So I give this list to you. You keep this for reference. So when we work on this polyatomic ionic compounds, make sure you, during the class, make sure you have this list so that you can, you know the ions and you know their charges. Okay. I hope you have the list at this time with you. So keep the list by the side, and we are going to use the list when we name. Okay, now the rules are pretty straightforward. The compounds, the polyatomic compounds have first name and the last name. Like the binary compounds, the cations, the metal ions are the first names. Say ammonium is watch for ammonium. Ammonium is the only one exception which comes as the first name. Then always anions. The negative ions come second. That's it. So the same rules as binary ionic compound. The positive ions first and the negative ions next. So no prefixes except dichromate. And either you can write hydrogen carbonate or bicarbonate. They are the same. So hydrogen carbonate is also called bicarbonate. And instead of hydrogen sulfate, if you write bisulfate, they are the same. Okay, these are the few exceptions, that's it. So we will see a couple examples. Then I do a couple of problems. Then you try a couple of problems. Then we'll do a little more practice. Okay, so during the class, we will do some examples. So let me go to the first slide. So do you have that a list of polyatomic ions with you? Keep it with you. When I go over the examples, you will be able to find out. So first example, calcium. Ca stands for calcium. First name, so calcium. Then the last name, PO4. Check the PO4 in the polyatomic list. You know that is phosphate. Then second example, NH4. That is ammonium. See the list. Then carbonate. CO3 is carbonate. Okay. So let me go over the other examples too. First name aluminum. SO4 stands for sulfate. So put them together, aluminum sulfate. And next, Na stands for sodium. And SO4 is a polyatomic ion, that is sulfate. So sodium sulfate. Then Li, lithium. See, I'll put the polyatomic ions in the brackets, in the parentheses, so that you'll be able to distinguish between the anionic part and the cationic part. So LiCN, so lithium, Cn stands for cyanide, so lithium cyanide. Barium, Ba stands for barium. Then the last name is, see, it's better to write when the compound has two or more number of polyatomic ions, it's better to write it in the parenthesis. So that is chlorate. ClO3 is chlorate. Then copper hydroxide. That is the name. So in the next slide, these are the worked out examples. In the next slide, I'm going to give you a couple more examples. We will do a couple more examples. First, I do. Then I'm going to call some volunteers and we do together. Then you have to do independently after the slide. Okay. So first, let me take a couple of problems from this practice and let me work it out. Okay. I will do, let me circle few problems. Okay, I will do one. Maybe I will do 4. Maybe I'll do one more. How about I will do 6. Okay. So what is the formula is given? So I'm going to write the name. What is the name of the cation? Na stands for sodium. That's right. Then from the list, can you give me the name of the polyatomic ion PO4? Yes. Yes, you are right. That is sodium. Last name is phosphate. Sodium phosphate. So first name from the periodic table, then the last name from the list, and put them together. Put them together, you will get the full name. Maybe if you want, you can write the polyatomic ions in the parentheses. Okay, that makes your job more easy. It's easy to understand. Now I'll say sodium carbonate, the same thing. First, I'm going to write the formulas, then I'm going to swap the charges. I'm going to exchange the charges. First, let me write for 4. I'll take the space. I'll take the space to write 4. So let me write the symbol for sodium, Na. And what is the charge for sodium? You know, sodium always have only one charge, that is one positive, 1 plus. Then carbonate. Look at the list, polyatomic list. You'll find out CO2. What is the charge for carbonate? Is it 2 negative? 2 minus? Yes. So now I wrote the symbols, now I wrote the charges. Now the time to exchange. Now is the time to crisscross or crossover or swap or exchange only the numbers. So now I'm going to exchange only the numbers. So Na bring this 2. And better to avoid the confusion, I'll write the polyatomic ions in the parenthesis and bring the 1. And you know what? We don't have to write the 1. Already we know that if it is 1, we don't have to write it. Make sense? Okay, can we work out one more problem? That is 6. Okay, number 6. Number 6. What is the symbol for magnesium? I know magnesium Mg, and magnesium has charge of +2. Magnesium is in group 2, so positive 2. Then acetate. Acetate, what is the formula for acetate? CH3COO, right? C. Just I'm flipping that because I'm writing the magnesium this way. But if you write CH3COO, I'm not going to reduce any point. It's a big polyatomic, right? It has 3 different types of atoms: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and everything. So now look at what is the charge for the acetate atoms. Look at the polyatomic. You will know what is the charge for acetate. Isn't it -1? Okay. Then what you have to do after writing that? Crisscross or exchange only the number. See, I'm not taking the charges, just I'm crisscrossing only the numbers. So magnesium, I have to write 1 actually here, but I don't have to write the 1, you know that. So I'm copying the formula for acetate, CH3, and close the parenthesis, otherwise, you will mess up with the numbers. So bring the 2 here, the down in the subscript. So this is the answer for. Now you try for 2, 3, and 5. Pause the video and take your time and try for these 3. Then we will discuss the answers. I'll show the answers. Okay, I guess you're all ready with the answers. Let me move on to the answers. Here you go. So check your answers for the second one and the third one and the 5th one. If you have some different answers, please let me know. We can go over that and we will figure out where did we go wrong. All set? I hope you all have 3 out of 3. Yay. Okay, now we are going to do independent practice. Okay. Okay, this is for you. You do this. Take your time and use the polyatomic list and find the answers for these 4 problems. So first you have to write the name for the first 2. For third one and the 4th one, you have to write the formula, compound formula. Pause the video. So you have answers. Do you have answers for this? Okay. Okay, check your answers now. The first one is sodium. Na stands for sodium and NO3 stands for nitrate. I think there is a, I think this is NH4. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be NH4. If it is Na4, that wouldn't be 4. Okay, so now, okay, we'll do it together. NH4 stands for what? Ammonium. NO3 stands for nitrate. So first one is ammonium nitrate. And the second one, Li stands for lithium. And OH stands for hydroxide. So put them together. Put them together and write lithium hydroxide. And third one, what is the answer for the third one? I think this is kind of repeated. Barium. And the polyatomic cyanide is CN, whether you have written, because cyanide is only one, so whether you have written in parentheses or not written in parentheses, that's okay. Then calcium phosphate. So try for calcium phosphate and give me the right answer. I need a volunteer. Can anyone come here, please, and put up the answer? Okay, so you have that paper, right? So anyone, you can come. Okay, let me give the answer. In case, if you have it on the paper, so you can check your answers with this. Then you have to do the same thing. Like write the symbols, then crisscross the charges, and that's it. Okay, we will do more practice. You'll be having a homework, and we will do more practice and go over.